Hey guys, what's going on? It's Eli, back with another review video. Tom Hanks, what a fantastic actor he is, starring in numerous groundbreaking, successful films, and, sometimes he's been in films that were and, any actor like Tom Hanks will, sometimes be in movies like those. Movies that, that won't be that successful. You know what I mean? And Tom Hanks, boy, has he done a lot of movies where he's played real-life people. Movies that are biopics based off of true events, etc. And this one, well, he played a captain who, on the ship that he was captaining, it was hijacked by Somali pirates. And, this being a true story, and, this actually happened in, the late 2000s. That's right, guys. I am reviewing from 2013, Captain Phillips. Yes, Captain Phillips. Wow. I tell you, what I thought of this movie, the first things I have to say, and before I read the description / the story, Captain Phillips was amazing. It really was. And I almost forgot that this movie was nominated for 6 Oscars / Academy Awards. 6 nominations. But they didn't win any of those Oscars, and it was nominated for Best Picture, but it lost to 12 Years a Slave, which, that's a good movie as well. And boy, I remember when the Oscars happened, when this and other great films were nominated, and, the cast was there and so on, and when Ellen DeGeneres was the host of the Oscars, of that year. So, it's a shame that this movie, Captain Phillips, it didn't win any Oscars, but hey, being nominated is still something. You're in that list of nominated films, nominated actors, actresses, you know what I'm saying? Being nominated is still a good thing, and how far you've come, and, how good movies like this have turned out, you know what I mean? So, yeah. Alright, so, as always, read the description / the story. In April of 2009, the U.S. container ship Missouri, Alabama, sails towards its destination on a day that seems like any other. Suddenly, Somali pirates race toward the vessel, climb aboard, and take everyone hostage. The captain of the ship, Richard Phillips, looks to protect his crew from the hostile invaders, and their leader, Muse, if I am saying that right, you know me sometimes. The pirates are after millions of dollars, and Phillips must use his wits to make sure everyone survives and returns home safely. Okay, so the movie itself, again, just wow. I mean, I really didn't know what to expect, especially, what happens in the third act, and until I get to that. Oh my gosh. Just how intense that, what happens in this movie, intense moments and so on. Just, wow. So yeah, we of course have our main character, Captain Richard Phillips, played by the one and only Tom Hanks. Because him being a captain, delivering cargo and such, of Alabama, well, as I read in the, the story / description, both him and his wife, they have big-time jobs. I mean, we really don't know what she does. Richard Phillips' wife, Andrea Phillips, being played and portrayed by Catherine Keener. Yeah. And we really don't get that much of Andrea in this movie. She shows up at the beginning, and as Captain Phillips is, proceeding to his destination, to, the ship that he's going to be captaining, and that's it. When they make their way, I think it's the airport, I want to say, And, they say their goodbyes for now and, give each other a kiss and saying, I love you to each other. And yeah, that's the last we see of Andrea. So, and then we have the people at Somali. Muse, played by Barkhad Abdi. I think I got that right. And there's also Bilal, if I'm, again, you know me sometimes, bear with me, and I'm going to do my very best to pronounce their names. These characters' names, that is, and that goes for the actors in this movie. The other one being led by Muse, Bilal, being played by Barkhad Abdurrahman. I think that's about right. And yeah, because we have two black actors who kind of share the same name. I mean, like, Barkhad Abdi, like, his name is just shortened to Abdi, A-B-D-I. But for Barkhad Abdi or Arman, like his last name is, A-B-D-I-R. And with that, A-H-M-A-N. So yeah, and I did look it up to see if they are possibly related, if they're brothers, but I couldn't find anything. But if you guys know this, let me know in the comments section, because that's eerie. Both of them share, like, the first and last name. But again, one of them, their last name is shortened. So, And then there's also Naji, being played by Faisala Ahmed. Yeah, I got the last name right. And there's also Elmi, being played by Mahat M. Ali. Yeah, I think, yeah, because Elmi, he was a bit crazy in this. He was one of those Somali pirates who was just crazy, and, sometimes, like, giving his boss a hard time. Again, Muse is in charge of them because, well, basically the Somali pirates, they're looking to make some money, living, and, they need to steal and hijack a big ship. And, what they want, and as I read, they want millions of dollars. They want $10 million. Not like, say, 100 or 1,000 millions. And of course, sure enough, they discover and, find the ship that Captain Richard Phillips is commanding. Yeah, that's the word I was looking for, commanding. We have the other crew members of the ship, like Shane Murphy, being played and portrayed by Michael Chernus, if I'm saying the last name right. Mike Perry, being played and portrayed by David Warshofsky, I might have got that right, and Ken Gwynn, being played and portrayed by Corey Johnson. I know Corey Johnson. He's the same guy who was in the first Hellboy film. Yeah. Well, that's what I remember him from. So, and I know he's done a lot of other stuff. I'm just saying, And there's also John Coran, being played and portrayed by Chris Mulkey. And we have other people, in this movie, like Captain Frank Castellano, being played and portrayed by Yoel Zaskis. I'm not sure if I'm getting that right. And Max Martini, he plays and portrays a SEAL commander. Yeah. So, yeah, like Captain Richard Phillips commanding the ship that he's on, the Missouri, Alabama ship, like a cargo ship. And, they're making their destination, delivering some cargo and shipments, commercial cargo, I want to say. That's basically, what that is. And, of course, they see on the scanners that, well, skivvies, is that, am I saying that right? Those boats that the Somali pirates, ride in. Because they try to get on board the cargo ship, but of course they are quick enough, and with Captain Richard Phillips' commands, to stop the Somali pirates from boarding. They fail their first attempt to, hijack the ship, but then the next day, well, they manage to succeed, despite the fact that, they turned on some hoses, and for them to, to stop them and so on, but, again, the Somali pirates succeed. They used a ladder. They got on board, and well, most of the crew, they hid down in the ship, while some of the crew up above deck and at the main bridge, well, they were held hostage, and of course Captain Phillips was. And I tell you, clearly, because the Captain Phillips, this is what he did, because how he was reasoning and trying to keep things, between him and the Somali pirates, at ease, cooperating with them, even when, Muse is saying, I'm the captain now, and Captain Phillips is like, okay, I understand, you're the captain. And, Captain Phillips does succeed on, cooperating with them, and, because, the Somali pirates, they want the money. And even Muse made it clear to Captain Phillips, and even brought it up to him later on, like, what the Somali pirates wanted to do was, take their ship, get the money, and no one on the ship would get killed or hurt. Yeah. But even the crew, they have some tricks up their sleeves to try and stop the Somali pirates. Especially when one of them, breaks, glass, and, it was Bilal, one of the Somali pirates. Well, he stepped on the glass, and throughout the film, because, his foot was wounded so bad, bleeding and such, and the risk that he could lose that foot, I tell you, because, of course, the bleeding wouldn't stop. And Captain Phillips, trying and wanting to, attend to, his wounds and such. But even, the other Somali pirates, especially, Muse and especially Elmi, they're having none of it. And even, again, because at times, each of the Somali pirates, just kind of, treating each other badly, even early on, before, they went to try to, at first, hijack the cargo ship, some of the Somali pirates, they were giving Muse a hard time, for one thing, because, him being skinny. And even he made them clear that, he may be skinny, but, he's not giving up and he's brave. So, yeah. And so, because Captain Phillips taking them down below to the ship, and, the Somali pirates, they're wondering where the other crew is, and Captain Phillips, telling them he doesn't know where they are, and, he's playing along, he's tricking them. But, still, he's being reasonable and cooperating with them. He's cooperated with them throughout most of the film, even though during the third act, he tried to escape at one point, and until I get to that. And, well, even, before, they get off the cargo ship, well, they didn't get, well, yeah, they did, yes, yeah, now I remember, they did get some of the money, but it was not enough, apparently, and, the crew at one point, because when, Captain Phillips tells Muse that, they should really attend to, Bial's wounds to his foot. He and the two Somali pirates, they go back up above deck on the main bridge, while Muse is alone down there trying to look for the rest of the crew. And sure enough, should have seen this coming, the crew, well, they tackle and, they have Muse held hostage. And so what happens next is they all meet up, and, if, they'll let the Somali pirates, boss, they'll let him go if, they let go of Phillips. And, they'll allow the Somali pirates to take a lifeboat. And so, yeah, they do take a lifeboat, and Muse is released, but what happens next? They take Captain Phillips hostage. I should have seen that coming, and, well, clearly, because that's what happened in reality, because, the Captain Phillips was taken hostage for quite a while, for many hours, and for one day. So they have him hostage, and they escape, and that was kind of the last we saw of Captain Phillips's crew, because we then turn to the U.S. Navy, and the SEALs, yeah. And so word gets out on Captain Phillips's, capturing and about the Somali pirates, and, they're going to do whatever it takes to negotiate and reason with the 4 Somali pirates and, to rescue Captain Phillips and to give them what they want, because they want that $10 million. And by the way, because for there only being 4 Somali pirates, and, for them, like, boarding and hijacking and keeping, having the crew be hostage and such, well, I mean, there was more than just 4 Somali pirates, because another, group of Somali pirates, they fled, because Captain Phillips at one point tricked them by pretending to be someone else, like, oh, there would be, like jets, like, coming in and, dive bombing on them and such. Well, one of them fled, as well as, like, the big ship where all the other Somali pirates were on. They fled. But Muse was not giving up. And thus, yeah, that's why as of now, there were only 4 Somali pirates doing what they are supposed to do. And, yeah. Then, like, what happens on the lifeboat, because, still, like, Muse and Elmi going at it at times, and sure enough, because, the U.S. Navy and the seas, they make their way, and, of course, the Somali pirates tell them what they want, and even at times threatening that, no tricks, we will shoot him, and so on. Even, like, their negotiator told them that, the elders from Somali, they will come and, they'll negotiate and so on. And at one point, and what happens next, because a couple of the U.S. Navy crew, like, they were on boats and, they went to the lifeboat to, bring along Muse, like, have Muse come on board the Bain, USS Bainbridge, yeah, one of the ships, and, to be there and, thus, until the elders arrive to, do the negotiations and such, and of course, to give them what they want and to release and free Captain Phillips. So Muse, well, he leaves his Somali pirates crew behind, and Captain Phillips is given a shirt so he can put on, because, yeah, at one point, he tried to escape. And this was before, Muse went on one of the U.S. ships. He tried to escape at one point by swimming and getting to the ships, but, unfortunately, no luck, even when Muse, jumped in the water and got him and so on. But, yeah, again, because after that, Muse, he's brought on board the U.S. Navy ships, and, again, with the elders to arrive, and, Captain Phillips still being held hostage, and at times, because, he asks for a drink of water and to take a piss, and, with him wanting to take a piss, well, that's where, he tried to make his escape by swimming, it was nice to see that one of the Somali pirates, the one who got his foot wounded, I think he was, I can tell, like, he was starting to, appreciate Captain Phillips more, because Captain Phillips, well, yeah, he did help him, like, he owes Captain Phillips, and he was, trying to help out Captain Phillips from not getting killed, especially from that one Somali pirate who's just insane. Because, when he put on the shirt that, the U.S. gave him to put on, and all because he put on a shirt because, like, the one Somali pirate, he went nuts, he lost his shit, pardon my French, but it's true, and, told, the one Somali pirate, Baila, again, the one where his foot got wounded, if he moves again, shoot him. But again, he was just putting on his shirt, that's all. The man's got to put a shirt on. Even at one point, Captain Phillips was going to write a letter to, if he was going to die, his family would have a letter from him. Supposedly his final words to his family. Even Byla can see that he's writing and telling him to, stop writing or else he'll get shot. And I knew it was coming. Like, you knew that this was probably going to happen, and it did. Like, Elmi, the crazy Somali pirate, he sees what he's doing, and, well, Captain Phillips, he strikes at him, like, trying to fight him and such. And, even, like, the negotiator, like, they can see what's going on. They have cameras directed and, gunmen, like, pointed, and they can see what's going on, inside of the lifeboat. And the negotiator is telling them, if you kill him and such, the deal's off. The negotiations are off and such. I was wondering, I was thinking if this could happen. If the one Somali pirate, Byla, if he was gonna, like, stand up for Captain Phillips, if he was gonna shoot at the one Somali pirate, I was wondering if that could happen. You would get that feeling sometimes, like, oh, like, could this happen and such? But when, they tie him up, they tie his hands up, and, they blindfold him, and they were gonna kill him. They were very close to killing him. Gun to the head. Well, the U.S. Navy, what they do next, they execute the Somali pirates. And I tell you, Tom Hanks is acting in this, like, and when he sees what happened, because, of course he heard it, and, like, blood, splattered on him, the Somali pirate's blood, he takes off his blindfold, and he could see what happened. Like, they were all three of them were shot dead. And he just wails out and wheezing, and oh my gosh, like, fantastic performance from the one and only Tom Hanks. Just fantastic. We can eat, like, and the one Somali pirate, the crazy one, there's a shot where we see him, like, right in the eyes, and, well, thus, Captain Phillips is no longer in danger, and the U.S. Navy, they get him out of the lifeboat. And as for Muse, well, he is under arrest, of course, and, put on trial, and, he's going to make his way to America. And, a couple of times where Muse was talking about, living in America, etc., having a car and so on. Yeah, so, and by the way, because Muse gave Captain Phillips, like, a nickname. He called him Irish. And Muse asked him, like, when they first met, he asked Captain Phillips if he was Yankee. And, Captain Phillips, he says, yeah, Yankee-ish. And thus, Muse told Phillips that, I call you Irish. So yeah, I couldn't forget to mention that, because, throughout the film, Muse refers to Captain Phillips as Irish. So again, Muse, he is under arrest. Captain Phillips, he's taken in, and, he's in good hands. And, you could see the look on his face, like, all that he went through, and to end it off, just, those three Somali pirates being murdered, like, he has seen far too much. And, yeah, and so he's being treated very well by this woman named Chief O'Brien. Yeah, Chief O'Brien, like, boy, that name sounds familiar, doesn't it? Like, and what a coincidence. And then, because we see that the Navy ships, they're sailing back to America, and we get a couple of texts, like what happened with Captain Phillips as well as Muse. Muse, he made it back safe and sound, I think on April 17th. Yeah, safe and sound with his family. His family, of course, was well aware of what was going on. I wish that, I wish that we could have gotten, like, one more appearance of his wife and their kids. Like, we do see their kids, but just in photos. Wouldn't it have been nice if we got to see the kids and Andrea one more time? But, it's how the movie is, and that's okay. I understand, and, again, what happened to Captain Phillips and what happened to Muse, because, yeah, him, of course, serving in jail. Yeah, and that's how the movie ends. Oh my gosh, like, what a way to end the movie right there, don't you think? And a really good ending, I should say. Captain Phillips. What a fantastic movie this is, based off of a true event, and, you know, what happened with the actual Captain Richard Phillips. Like, the story, you know, the intense, full, and emotional moments, everything in this movie, and not to mention, fantastic performances from Tom Hanks, Barkhead Abdi, everybody in this movie. They were all fantastic. What more do I have to say about this movie? And, you know, I gotta be honest, you know, this movie should have at least one or two Oscars. Not to mention, Barkhead Abdi was nominated for, you know, his performance, and it would have been nice if he would have, if he had won. But, you know, like I said, you know, even though this movie didn't win any Oscar, being nominated was still something for this movie. Like I said, you know, being nominated is something. How far you've made it, and knowing how good a movie like this is, you know what I mean? Yeah, just, again, overall, Captain Phillips is a really good movie, and, you know, what happened in real life, and for this being turned into a movie. And I'm giving Captain Phillips, well, what the heck, 10 out of 10 stars. Yes, 10 out of 10 stars for Captain Phillips. And what about you guys? What did you think of Captain Phillips itself? Did you enjoy this movie? And, you know, knowing the actual story of Captain Phillips and, you know, the performances of Tom Hanks, Barkhead Abdi, the music and score, just, you know, everything that I've had to say about this movie. And what did you think of my review? Leave comments and give this review video a like as always. So, with all that being said, thank you very much for watching. I hope you guys enjoyed my review of Captain Phillips. More review videos are on the way. They're going to be awesome. Keep looking forward, and I'll see you guys in the next video / review. Take care, and peace out.